Hi guys! It's time for another draw. So, let's not dilly-dally. Let's draw my next read and discuss. Hopefully it's going to be something that actually fits this time because the last two were kind of like kind of fits. Okay. It's prompt number 18. So that's a love story that defies social boundaries. Hopefully it fits. So the book is A Song, hopefully you can see it, A Song to Drown Rivers by Ann Liang. Sorry, I couldn't read it from that angle. So let's see. Let's pull up the synopsis for this book. With what prompt were we? Prompt 18. 18, A Song to Drown Out Rivers. I actually have no memory of picking this book. Let's see what it's about. I'm kind of excited. Okay, so it was nominated for Goodreads Choice Awards in 2024 for Reader's Favorite Fantasy category. Inspired by the legend of, oh god, I can't read Chinese, Xi Shi, I have no idea. Something. As a fact, one of the famous Four Beauties of Ancient China, A Song to Drown Rivers is an epic novel steeped in myth about womanhood, war, sacrifice, and love against all odds as the fate of two kingdoms hangs in the delicate balance. Oh, I have a lot of Asian books now. And I'm actually watching a Chinese TV show. I'm sensing a theme here. It's the story of Pearl Girl. You have to watch it. It's amazing. I'm on episode 18 and like, how much suffering can a girl take? Okay, back to the book. Her beauty hides a deadly purpose. Oh my god, that's her name. So X's, because her name starts with an X. Sorry. Chinese is not one of my languages. Maybe when I'm 60. Like Korean when I'm 50, 55 maybe. Anyway, so her beauty is seen as a blessing to the villagers of Yue. Actually, I think Yue was in... Yeah, Yue is in the show I'm watching. Okay, this is getting weird now. Convinced that the best fate for a girl is to marry well and support her family, when she draws the attention of the famous young military advisor, Fan Li, he presents her with a rare opportunity to use her beauty as a weapon, one that could topple the rival neighboring kingdom of Wu, improve the lives of her people, and avenge her sister's murder. All she has to do is infiltrate the enemy palace as a spy, seduce the immoral king, not immortal, immoral. I was reading immortal at first, and weaken them from within. Trained by Fan Li in everything from classical instruments to concealing emotion, she hones her beauty into the perfect blade, but she knows Fan Li can see through every deception she masters, the attraction between them burning away any falsehoods. Once inside the enemy palace, she finds herself under the hungry gaze of the king's advisors, while the king himself shows her great affection. Despite his gentleness, a brutality lurks, and she knows she can never let her guard down. But the higher she climbs in the Wu court, the further she and Fan Li have to fall Oh, he's still in it. And if she's unmasked as a traitor, she will bring both kingdoms down. Okay. Interesting. Where's the fantasy element? I don't know. We'll see. Because so far this is just like historical fiction kind. But we'll see where the fantasy element comes into this. So this was first published in 2024. So yay! More recent book. October the 1st. And it's 327 pages on Kindle. And Ann Liang is the New York Times and indie bestselling author. And her books have sold into over 20 foreign territories. Born in Beijing, Peking in my language. She grew up traveling back and forth between China and Australia, but somehow ended up with an American accent. The TV is the TV. She now lives in Melbourne, where she can be found making overambitious to-do lists and having profound conversations with her pet Labradoodle about who's a good dog. I'm sure the Labradoodle is a good dog. Anyway, so this sounds interesting, and yeah, it's crazy. What are we having? A Chinese month or something? Like the noodle mystery thing? Then we made a sideline to ADHD recently, and then there was the Murder on the Orient Express, which is like no Chinese there, but you know. And I'm watching the Chinese TV show. It's the first Chinese TV show I've ever watched because someone recommended it to me, and I was like, okay, I have never watched a Chinese show in my life, so why not? And I draw this book. Wow. Okay. So, we'll see how I like it. The previous fantasy thing, which was Korean mythology, wasn't that much of a hit. It was good. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't terrible. It was passing. So I hope this will be 4 or 5 stars because I have been in a 3-star slump for majority of February, and so I'm hoping this will be 4 or 5 stars, especially because I don't think that recently I've had a fantasy that was more than 3. So here's hoping. Also, see you in the review. Bye. Thanks for watching. Hi guys! So a little bit of a different setting, and thank God for noise cancellation. So this is a review of A Song to Drown Rivers by Ann Liang, and that was my pick for prompt number 18 in the 2026 PopSugar Reading Challenge. It was a romance that defies social boundaries or something to that regard. You know, I can't remember these things. Anyway, so I'm recording outside today. It's a very lovely day. And what was this story about? So this story is about Xi Shi. I thank you, audiobook, for teaching me that. Who was a legend. She was one of the four beauties of ancient China. This was around 500 BC. And so these are kind of historical characters, part legend. And she's from a place called Yue, the kingdom of Yue. And Yue is basically overrun by Wu. It was made a vassal state by Wu. And then they wanted to like present a pretty girl to the Wu king, and okay, so the wonders of recording outside, you get interrupted. Xi Shi is basically a peasant girl. She's from a village, and she gets taught by Fan Li, who is like a general minister, something like that, to be a court lady. And she also takes with her a friend who obviously dies. I mean, seriously, it's obvious. And so she's supposed to like woo the king of Wu. Okay, that's actually funny. Because it was actually called the Kingdom of Wu, and Wu anyway. She basically convinces him to do stuff for her so that the Yue can take over, and obviously they succeed because that's the legend. And so let's see about the book. So the book pretty much follows the legend, and the problem with that is that maybe it follows it too much. So it's like it doesn't go beyond it. So there are some stuff like it's pretty. The writing is very pretty. The when Fan Li is training Xi Shi, terrible with names. Xi Shi, she so the romance obviously happens, and that was nice, pretty. But then when she gets into court, it's kind of a letdown because I watch a lot of Korean dramas, some of them court dramas and stuff like that, and always the intrigue, the different manipulations. That's the fun part, and this didn't really have that. It was actually almost boring, and also Xi Shi is like supposedly this really smart character. She's like very smart woman, and she keeps making these really stupid mistakes. Like, okay, everyone could see that a mile away. So yeah, from then on it just goes downhill because you expect a war, and it's basically just a little skirmish kind of thing. And then the ending follows basically the ending of the legend, and the thing is it never actually strays. So there are glimpses of stuff that could be like so there are glimpses of what it could be like. There's this part where she starts talking with this girl from Wu, who remarks how her village was basically slaughtered by people from Yue, and she calls them the monsters of Yue. And then she thinks, oh, but we call the people from Wu monsters because they slaughter our people. And it never goes beyond that. She never starts thinking, oh, maybe it's like one nation's heroes are another nation's monsters, or anything like that. And also at the end, there's a woman who brings up that kings and just change, and the daily struggle of normal people never actually changes or gets better or anything. And it doesn't really matter who sits on the throne, it's Wu or Yue or whatever. And this thought is never actually carried on much. There is a little indication in the end, but not much. So this is marketed as fantasy, but it's more of historical fantasy. Well, not even fantasy, just historical period fiction, or legend retelling. there is a tiny bit of fantastical element in the end, but not a lot. Like, it's barely fantasy. I think it was more the market is fantasy because of the big hype around romantasy nowadays. But overall, I wasn't that keen on this book, and it just fell flat. It had a great premise, but it fell flat. And I'll record the turning of the number at home. See you guys. And let's change the little thing. So I've read 17 books so far. And don't forget to check out my written review of A Song to Drown Rivers. Thanks for watching. Bye.